Shalom, I'm Lars Enarsson with the Watchman International, continuing to report on the situation in Israel. Today it is Wednesday, August 20, and as was expected, Hamas broke another extended ceasefire yesterday, continuing to shoot missiles and rockets into Israel. And Israel has retaliated with aerial bombardments and also have called up reserves to prepare for the possibility of another ground operation into Gaza. I want to thank those of you who have written to us and expressed appreciation for these video updates, and we will keep you informed in order to help you to pray for the situation. As watchmen on the walls of Jerusalem, we are called to pray as Yeshua, Jesus, taught us to pray. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We are called to pray for God's will to happen. And in order to do that, we need, first of all, to study the scriptures carefully where God has expressed his will that we are to pray. Secondly, we are to watch in prayer, to hear from him by the Holy Spirit how he wants us to specifically pray. Last week on August 13, God woke me up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I believe he gave me directions for how he specifically wants us to pray for the situation right now in Israel. Number one, he wants us to pray that Israel will not enter into any agreement with Hamas. They should not agree to any of the demands that Hamas is making right now in the negotiations. But secondly, Israel must go into Gaza again to topple Hamas. And in order to do that, thirdly, we need to pray that the Israeli army will create free zones in Gaza where the civilian population will find shelter and food and water and be protected from the war. Actually, this is the UN's responsibility. However, they are working together with Hamas to a large extent, and they place civilians in shelter close to the war zone, which endangers them and cause an unnecessary civilian casualties in Gaza. So we need to pray that Israel will create these free zones that will give them also greater liberty to hit the terrorists in Gaza. Finally, we are to pray that the gospel will be able to reach into Gaza, into these free zones, to see a beginning of the highway of revival that I call it, expressed in Isaiah chapter 19, from Egypt to Assyria, where the Arabs and the Jews eventually will worship the Lord together as a blessing for the entire world. And so this is the grand goal that we need to pray towards in Gaza. In order for this to happen, the Islamists must be defeated in Gaza. And I believe that we are to pray that Israel will enter into Gaza to do that at this time. Now we have to remember that from the outset of Operation Protective Edge over a month ago, the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has been clearly very reluctant to go into Gaza to topple Hamas. What the reason is for that, we do not know. But as I said in the beginning of this update, we are to pray that God's will be done. And that is our responsibility as watchmen on the walls of Jerusalem. So please continue to pray for these specific prayer points. Actually, a majority of the population in Israel, according to recent polls, are asking that the Israeli army will go all the way in Gaza to defeat Hamas at this time. Close to 60% in a recent poll. And also several of the ministers, Knesset members, both from the left even and on the right, are asking that Netanyahu will go all the way and make sure that Hamas is defeated this time. So, friends, let's really agree together in prayer for God's will to be done, even though it might look impossible. And I thank you for standing with us. Please go to our website, thewatchman.org, and subscribe to the prayer alerts that you can follow also the specific prayer points and the scriptures that we give you as a foundation for prayer. I'm Lars Enarsson with the Watchman International. God bless you. Shalom.